Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another part of Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. Sorry, I had to think of the name. I just woke up. I'm very tired. Anyways, yeah. I should go grab my water out of the fridge. Hold on, let me be right back. But while I do that, I'm gonna let the music play. Oh my god. I kind of regret that because like this is a metal bottle and it's very cold now. Oh well, I'll be fine. Ugh. So we have access to all but two. And I don't know who these other two are going to be. Trying to think. Yukari and Junpei, if I had to say. I think. But someone said that they wanted me to pick for myself, but that they had a character in mind that they pretty much wouldn't mind to see, I guess, or likes robots, so to speak. Yeah. I would also like to say before I start this though, there is a beeping in the background. It's a fire alarm. Yeah. It's gonna be like this for like a week, so yeah. Also, I'm recording in the dark, so if my avatar does like weird things or whatever, that's why. But anyways, let's do it. Time to put on my Aigis voice. I don't know how well I can do it.
Are you awake?
I'm sorry. I had turned off my consciousness to test the new equipment installed on me.
Yes, that's why we use the emergency channel. We have been asked to go into action.
Has something happened? Who sent the request?
We'll brief you on the details in transit. Also, regulations say that the member with the lowest serial number is in command. Currently, that's you.
I'm in command? Are you sure about this? After all,
You're well suited for it, in my opinion.
Understood.
May 1st, 2012, 9:30. Oh my goodness, this sounds weird. Men equipped with assault suits and tactical vests line the concrete ground. Their urban camouflage and unmoving poses give them the appearance of an orderly line of rocks. 30 minutes have passed since the special assault team took up their positions on the leading strip surrounding the stopped passenger lane. Their captain glares at the plane before he slowly turns around and looks at each of his men. Every last one wears ski masks and thick tactical visors to mask their identities, but he knows them nonetheless.
Tell me about the situation and make it quick. We don't have much time.
One of the team members steps forward. The touchscreen tablet in his right hand has a summary of the case on it. On May 1st, 2012, around 0900 hours, a wide-body passenger aircraft headed for Kagoshima sent out a 7500 squawk code during passenger boarding. Following the signal, the captain reported the control tower that their aircraft had been hijacked. Since the uprising occurred during passenger boarding, only half of the passengers, 168 exactly, had boarded. The 10 crew members bring a total of 178 hostages thought to be on board. Some passengers seated near the hatch had succeeded in escaping. The following points were gained from the questioning them. Take care not to be seen by hijackers. There are 3 hijackers. All of them are covering their faces with their ski masks. All of them are armed with what seem to be pistols. From their voices, builds, they appear to be males. They all spoke fluent Japanese. Currently, the aircraft in question has moved to the front of the landing strip at the hijackers' insistence and is stopped there. The authorities have attempted to negotiate with the hijackers by radio, but they have made no demands. The team member finishes his report. The captain nods silently and addresses his team.
There hasn't been a plane hijacked in this country in over 10 years. None of us, not even me, have dealt with this before. Still, the procedure remains the same. Trust yourself, remember your training, and keep a cool head.
The captain turns towards the plane again. Taking that as a cue, the team scatters to the specified post to take up positions. The only thing to do now is to see what happens. Excuse me if my Aigis impression isn't that great, but yeah, anyways, I just wanted to try something a bit different. Eventually, 10 o'clock comes around. Half an hour passed, with no new developments. Repeated attempts to contact the hijackers have been made, but they have yet to make any demands. Tensions are beginning to rise. The worst-case scenario is that they have no need to make demands. That their objective is to seize the passenger plane itself. In this case, the team would be facing a large-scale terrorist attack.
Come on, talk to us.
The captain mutters to himself, deep in thought. From the perspective of the rescuing the hostages, every second that passes without learning the hijacker's objective is a second wasted. The captain and his team can wait in hiding, but the same is not true for the passengers on board. For untrained civilians, extreme stress can be easily led to physical and mental problems. It's true not only for the hostages, but for the hijackers as well. When people lose their nerve, they tend to act rashly. The hostages will begin to lose hope, and the hijackers will begin taking it out on hostages. An hour into the incident, anything could be happening inside the plane. The captain could not do anything but glare as the time ticked by. After 15 more minutes had passed, a slight change in the situation was reported. All emails and calls going through the stations near the airport are being checked, but at the moment, no new messages are thought to be sent from inside the plane. It appeared that the hijackers had confiscated all cellular phones as per standard hijacking plans, but...
Sir, there's a report from HQ. They picked up a transmission from one of the passenger's cell phones. It's a smartphone with GPS, so they can tell it's inside the plane.
Confirm those details for me.
There are 2 possibilities. The hijackers are using a passenger's phone to contact associates outside, or a passenger is contacting someone in secret. The latter possibility is more likely. More and more devices have communication capabilities now, making it extremely difficult for hijackers to remove them entirely from play. And the more hostages there are involved, the more courageous they become, and the likely they are to take risks. Unfortunately, more hostages involved means that they're more dangerous. It's all the more dangerous to provoke the hijackers. Each individual hostage is worth less to them. The details of the transmission make it apparent that the situation is worse than the team had assumed. The cell phone's owner is a man in his 60s and first class. He signed up for a certain service after being diagnosed with a heart illness. It's a remote EKG monitoring service that keeps track of the patient's heartbeat. A scheduled message was automatically sent from the patient's cell phone. The service provider promptly contacted the police, informing them of that the man was in bad shape.
A man's life is at stake if we don't wrap this up within the hour. Looks like we can't stall for time.
As panic spreads, a proposal for negotiations based on this fact and a proposal to storm the plane are both considered. But because only half of the passengers had boarded, the situation inside of the plane is uncertain, making devising a tactical plan difficult. Though, if nothing is done, a passenger will surely succumb within the hour. A blunder like that must be avoided at all costs. That was the thinking that guided the police officials to make their decision. That same day, at 10:30,
What? Withdraw? This is a hijacking! What are you thinking withdrawing our people? Yes, I understand.
Wait, what's going on?
Orders are orders. We'll fall back at once. Get ready.
no one understood the sudden withdrawal order. Why withdraw the team during a hijacking? No one in the scene agreed to the decision, but the order could not be overturned. The men here are not the brain, but limbs whose power is best put up by precisely following orders. Just then, another group approaches without a sound. Its members are dressed differently, in suits and trench coats, but all of them are wearing black and sunglasses. At a glance, it is clear that they are tall, well-built, and used to rough situations. With nearly 20 of them gathered in one place, they are imposing despite their silence. They don't seem to be airport personnel, but neither are they known to the police. But the captain senses that they're in the same line of work and approaches.
Who are you?
His voice is laced with suspicion, but the man at the head of the group speaks dispassionately, as if he had heard nothing.
For the next half hour, we're in command of this scene.
Oh my.
You didn't answer the question. Who's responsible for this?
The captain's tone unconsciously hardens. The group of men in black parts and one of their number in their rear steps forth. The captain can't stop himself from furrowing his brow. He can already sense the unrest spreading amongst the team who he watches in silence. The one stepping forward looks like a 17 or 18-year-old girl. She is dressed in black and wears sunglasses like those around her, but her slender build is out of place. Her blonde hair stands out even more in contrast to her all-black outfit. The girl walks a few more steps forward and removes her sunglasses. The captain had intended to appraise the look in her eyes, but only gasps at the face of her crystalline blue. He quickly regains himself and frowns.
So you're the one in charge?
Yes,
Are you shitting me?
there is no time to waste quarreling.
There is no shitting here. The girl looks at him fearlessly, despite the armed team surrounding her. The absurdity of it all is what helps the captain get over his surprise. Her age and appearance are most likely meaningless. She is clearly no ordinary girl.
Are you not even gonna tell me who you're with?
I cannot.
So you expect me to hand over control of the scene to you without even telling me who the hell you are?
I believe orders to withdraw have already been issued.
Her calm, sweet voice only irritates him. The captain closes the distance to the girl, and while he stops short of grabbing her suit, he glares into the blue eyes from only inches away.
Lady, I don't know what kind of juice you have with the brass, but are you ready to be responsible for the deaths of those passengers?
Your protests are doing nothing to relieve the danger. Rescuing them as soon as possible is or rather, our duty.
The girl is completely unruffled as she speaks. It's like she's a machine or something. The captain thinks more dumbfoundedly than angry.
Have faith in us. We too wish to save them.
For the first time, something like determination flickers within those crystalline eyes. After looking into them, the captain finds something akin to resolve and confidence in them. He steps back. Raising his right hand to his chest, he shows the girl his watch.
Right. But you got exactly 30 minutes and not a second more.
Understood.
After the girl nods, she gives instructions to prepare a stair car to the group she is leading. The captain's fist tightens nervously. Since there are few uses for a stair car, quietly moving it in place make the hijackers think that a strike team is ready to storm the plane. But there is no hesitation in the girl's actions.
Well then, move in as naturally as possible while staying in their blind spots.
Eventually, a roofless stair car advances slowly towards the passenger plane.
Closest we can get without them noticing will be about 10 meters from the plane.
That will be more than enough.
More than enough. What's the point of half-assing like that? The captain's annoyance begins to turn to curiosity. If she is replacing the SIT, then she must have a plan beyond simple brute force, but
Now, let's begin.
the stair car stops. The girl gets out of the driver's seat. She walks slightly behind the vehicle, turns towards the passenger plane, and squats down.
What's she doing?
The captain brings up a pair of binoculars to see what she will do. At first, he assumes that she is trying to use the stair car's movement as a decoy to send her team in a different direction. Like humans, most vehicles have significant blind spots above them and underneath. Yet, that doesn't seem to be her plan. Does she plan to make her move while using the stair car as cover? Is she possibly going to snipe them? The captain discards the possibility. It would be foolish to set up a sniper perch at a lower angle of elevation where the girl is now. While the captain mulls over the question, the girl makes an unexpected move. She appears to lower her stance slightly one moment, and in the next she is no longer in sight. By the time the captain realizes she is running, she has already reached the top of the stair car. Her slender body launches like a cannonball from the top of the stairs.
What? She jumped?
Even the SIT members voice their surprise. The girl's leap arcs across the distance of over 10 meters. It's clearly beyond the abilities of a human being. Coming in the middle of a hijacking, the scene seems to be even more surreal. The girl lands on top of the aircraft and stands as if nothing unusual had happened. She looks at the aircraft beneath her and slowly turns her head to scan it back and forth. It reminds the captain of the movement of a security camera. He knows it should be impossible, but he wonders if she can see through the plane's ceiling. Eventually, the girl seems convinced of something and begins walking. When she reaches a boarding hatch at the front, she moves her right hand to her back. The captain notices that a special knife coated gray from blade to hilt is in her hand.
What's she gonna do with that knife?
Alright, I'm sorry everyone, but this voice is getting pretty hard to do for prolonged periods of time, and I don't even know if it sounds good. So, I'm just gonna switch to my normal voice. The girl suddenly lowers her stance and slides down the side of the aircraft. Just as she's about to fall, she thrusts the knife into the jam of the hatch and dangles from
This
in.
is crazy.
She then uses her left hand to pull the handle and unlocks the hatch with ease. Once the thick, airtight door juts out from the aircraft, the girl nimbly jumps into the plane. The captain is shocked by her dauntless methods. He begins to wonder if she intends to defuse the situation on her own. The captain lowers the binoculars and faces the reality before him with his own eyes. Who in the world is she? The doubts he had dismissed rise within him again. A warning light goes on in the cramped cockpit. Two people there notice it at once. One of them is the captain sitting in the pilot's seat. The other is a man holding a gun to the back of the captain's head. The light's labeled hatch open. Even an amateur could understand what it means. The man suddenly tenses and stands ready at the passenger's side door. He prepares himself for someone to charge through it, but he quickly regains composure and turns the gun back to the captain. The man casts irritated glances back and forth between the captain and the door for a while, but eventually approaches the door, his gun pointed at the captain. He cautiously cracks open the door and looks towards the passenger seating. Just outside the cockpit is the first-class section, but the passengers were gathered in economy class at the time of the hijacking. First class is empty. The man squints. To ward off observation, or worse, snipers, the window covers were down. Coming into the darkened plane from the bright cockpit forces his eyes to adjust. But from the corner of his eye, he sees a gleam of light shining in that's unlike the regular ones. And within that light is a silhouette. Before he can react, the silhouetted figure closes the distance. The hand grabs the edge of the door and opens it with tremendous force. Two quick, heavy blows follow. The man collapses without a sound. The captain turns around in surprise to see the intruder, a blonde girl with an index finger to her hips, signaling silence. She first lays the man on the ground, and then removes the pistol from his hand. On closer inspection, it is only a model gun, supplemented with metal parts. The seam between the parts is in different places compared to a real gun. If taken apart, the disassembled pieces would look nothing like a real pistol. The girl then takes handcuffs from the small pouch on her waist and fastens the man's arms to a seat leg near the window. Even if he wakes up, he will be unable to stand. Though the captain still looks as if he wishes to say something, the girl's eyes meet him and insist on silence as she leaves. The curtain dividing the first class and economy class is closed. The girl hides herself between it and peeks through. There is a man in each of the aisles, on the left and on the right. Neither seems to have noticed her. The passengers and cabin crew are crammed into seats in the back. Everyone's placement matches the readings of what her heat sensors picked up from above the plane. Both remaining hijackers are closer to their first class. The man closest to her is only a few steps away. She judges that he can easily be disabled if she moves quickly. They both carry pistols, but they are the same type as the downed hijacker. From what she can see, these are two are mere model guns. The girl swiftly pushes aside the curtain and grabs closer man's right wrist. The hijacker's caught off guard by the sudden appearance of such a slender girl, stops moving for a moment. He surrenders any chance of victory he may have had. With a pained cry, he drops the pistol to the ground. The girl uses her grip on the right hand to put him on the ground, then smoothly pulls out another pair of handcuffs and locks his arms to the passenger seat. The man thrashes about, but despite his struggle, he is no better than a worm writhing on the ground. Oh my god, dude. The last hijacker finally recovers from his shock and aims his gun. The girl pulls a button from the other man's sleeve and flicks it towards her opponent's face. The button travels at immense speed, though it is launched only from her fingers. The man tries to shield his face, but he is too late. He groans in pain when the projectile strikes his forehead. The girl does not let the opportunity pass. She easily jumps over the 3-seat-wide center block of the seats with one arm and grabs the man's right hand. Oh my god. There, she repeats the same procedure she used before. Their weapons are immediately seized while they are restrained on the floor. The passengers are only now grasping what's happening before their eyes. A murmuring chorus
Do
rises.
not be alarmed. I have come to rescue you. Your safety has not been secured yet, so please stay calm and remain in your seats.
The passengers erupt in cheer. There is a sporadic applause as well, but there is a slight hysterical tinge to it in reaction to the tension of the situation.
Excuse me. We were told someone requires medical assistance for their chronic heart illness. His name is...
Just as the girl approaches the center of the plane, she senses a male passenger stand up from his seat. He is extremely calm and quiet as he does so. The girl belatedly picks up on the incongruity. All of the other passengers are nervous. It is then that she feels something hard pressing up against her back, the back of her head. She knows without looking that it is the muzzle of a gun. The nearby passengers' cries of relief suddenly turn into
I am
screams.
impressed with your judgment to stay hidden until an opportunity arose.
The girl is unperturbed as she continues to look straight ahead. The man stays silent and keeps his pistol pressed to her head. She knows that there is no danger of being shot, but she is not yet sure that he was the only one in hiding. Left with no choice, the girl accedes to his demand and moves forward. After about 10 steps, another man stands up as expected.
Ah, and you too.
The man doesn't answer. He slowly approaches from the front. The girl is now sandwiched from the front and the back. At that moment, footsteps sound from beyond the curtain, leading into first class. The two culprits both react at once, but it is too late. Over 10 men in black rush in at once from beyond the curtain. While the girl had drawn the hijacker's attention with the scuffle, the stair car had closed in. First, they pin down the man standing in front. The narrow passage gives the man behind her a short reprieve, but it doesn't last long. The moment he lowers his hand, gripping the pistol in order to escape, the girl grabs his wrist. So focused was he on men who burst onto the scene that he forgot about the threat the girl posed. He is immediately tripped and restrained once he falls on his back. The girl stands up and looks around. If there are any more hijackers inside the plane, this would be their last chance to make a stand. But no one rises from their seat. She glances towards the men in black, and they nod back in acknowledgement. It seems the crisis has been averted. The girl carefully keeps her thoughts from appearing on her face, and then gives an inner sigh of relief. Soon afterward, the sweeper team gives a report confirming that the aircraft is secure. The girl works with the cabin crew to arrange transfer of the man with a heart illness before she steps out for a moment. She stands on the stair car and turns on a blue designator light, waving it in circles towards the SAT's position. It is the signal that the crisis is over.
She's done already?
On receiving the sign that the SAT is on standby, start talking amongst themselves. Goodness, I'm sorry.
It hasn't even been 5 minutes. There should have been at least 3 hijackers.
You know what they remind me of is those guys. Like Men in Black or something.
Captain, who are those people? Is that one even human?
The captain sighs with reluctance.
This is just a rumor. But I've heard that the higher-ups formed an unofficial security group in conjunction with a certain corporation.
Okay, that's badass. Let's just look at that. I mean, honestly.
It's supposedly for cases that are a little strange. I hear they have some official standing with the police, too. Though it's all some private enterprise, so technically, there's no authority involved at all.
What? But this is Japan we're talking about.
A search and destroy unit that answers to no department and keeps no records. I've heard them called shadow operatives.
He turns on his own blue light as a sign of understanding and waves it left and right. The response light comes up from up ahead. Girl then sees the captain spreading his arms and smiles in a shrug and smiles for the first time. She feels slightly bad for them. Her team may have shamed them, though they have done nothing wrong. I should apologize to them later. But then, one of the corner of the girl's eye, near the entrance of the luggage carts at the corner of the building, a figure catches her attention.
A girl?
The girl seems to be about her age and is wearing a plain cape-like dress. For some reason, her appearance feels unsettling. To begin with, given her heightened security, the parking entrance should be strictly sealed, yet the figure looks like a civilian.
May I check on something?
The girl calls to the SAT captain over the radio. Noticing someone's slight interference, she looks down to adjust the frequency dial.
What is it?
If you look towards my left, in front of the luggage loading bay is...
But during the moment she looked away, the figure
She's
disappeared.
not there. That can't be.
The girl looks around, but the figure is nowhere to be seen. Where could she have gone in this open space with nowhere to hide?
What's the matter?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was apparently seeing things.
The girl shuts the radio off. Who was that just now? Was I truly seeing things? With those questions in mind, the girl tries to remember the figure's appearance in detail. Only then does she realize the cause of her unease. That light blue dress the figure wore. It was very similar to the ones she herself had once. It reminds her of those days when she did not yet have a heart. Okay, I'm gonna need a second. I gotta fill up my water again. My water bottle. Excuse me. Filling up water literally makes no sense. Anyways. Oh, here she comes. It looks so weird, like as I'm walking towards the camera, because it picks up that my face is there. Alrighty. Moon Pie, what are you doing? If you're wondering who I'm talking about, it's my sister's cat. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there. Because he is overtly curious and I don't want him knocking me over anything. The girl puts those thoughts aside and returns to the aircraft. The mission does not end without taking the culprits into custody. In truth, along with defusing the situation, securing the safety of one particular passenger was highest priority. This fact was not revealed to the SAT. The passenger was originally seated in first class, but would have been forced to move. The girl looks carefully throughout the restless passengers. It is not long before she finds the face she seeks. Looking relieved, the girl walks towards the passenger in question.
Are you all right, Mitsuru-san?
Huh? I'm sorry, what?
Aigis, I didn't think you'd be the one to come.
The woman who answers has long, shining hair that would make an impression on anyone. Even sitting quietly in her seat, her refined appearance makes her stand out. But Aigis knows the woman well.
In fact, I was surprised to be called on to deal with something like this. The suspects made no demands. What were they after? At first, I thought I was summoned because you were their target, Mitsuru-san.
The higher-ups must have thought the same thing and panicked. Especially considering there's cargo on that plane they wouldn't want made public. Wait a second, that cargo...
Is something wrong?
This hijack seems strange now that I think about it. They made their move before takeoff, which is odd timing. And they forced the boarding announcement to be stopped. I thought maybe it was their way of trying to pull it off with a small team.
Are you saying that rather than a passenger, they were after that cargo? It's true that no one would consider the unloaded luggage during a hijacking.
I guess I need you to check on my things. Though if I'm right, it's already too late.
In response, Aigis instructs her team via radio to secure all luggage transport routes. Moreover, she requests a search to ensure that no cargo has been taken. Goodness gracious.
Even if you're right, why would they be interested in your belongings?
My usual cargo wouldn't be worth hijacking a plane over. But I was carrying something... sensitive this time. Normally, if they wanted it, they'd have to bypass a Kirijo facility's security or attack the vehicle transporting it. But by doing it this way, they can divert the entire country's attention with a few model guns.
Mitsuru smiles. Aigis can tell that she's impressed with their audacity, despite herself.
Mitsuru-san's cargo. Sensitive belongings for a vacation. I understand. Hijacking a plane out of a desperate desire for undergarments. This incident will surely go down in history.
It is definitely undergarments, for sure. Yep. They hijacked a plane strictly for Mitsuru's panties. Yep. Wow. Mitsuru's eyes bulged at the unexpected comment.
What? You're jumping to conclusions. It's not sensitive in that way. Besides, my underwear is in this bag and that's it. Enough about underwear.
She forces a cough and steers the conversation back on track.
More accurately, my cargo contained items from Ergo Research. My trip to Kagoshima was partly vacation, but also to oversee their transferal to Yakushima.
The official name of Ergo Research is the Kirijo Ergonomics Research Lab. Both Mitsuru and Aigis have many bitter memories associated with that name. A pall hangs in the air, but a radio transmission from one of Aigis' team cuts the moment short.
Aigis speaking. I see. Understood.
Mitsuru looks at Aigis questioningly, and she nods.
It's as you suspected. They found that one of the boxes scheduled for transport has gone missing.
I thought as much.
With a small sigh, Mitsuru rises from her seat.
We must get it back, I guess. The rest of the team can finish up here. I need you to come with me.
Aigis inspects Mitsuru's face carefully.
Will you be joining the search as well?
Well, I am personally involved, so yes.
In other words, you will officially rejoin the unit and participate in this mission. To be more direct, is it accurate to say that you are abandoning your vacation?
Mitsuru sighs with some exhaustion. Aigis interprets her silence as approval.
Then I hereby transfer command authority to you, Mitsuru-san. Regulations state that the member with the lowest serial number is to take command. And since you are member number 1, the official leader of the Security Department Shadow Response Unit, also called the Shadow Operatives.
I had a feeling I wouldn't be able to enjoy this vacation for long.
No, you wouldn't. You're just like in a really bad spot. Honestly, if you're in that position, I don't think you're gonna have a vacation in general, especially with people like that wanting all your stuff. Traveling with cargo from Ergo Research suggests that her vacation was neither relaxing nor cheerful.
I can't allow anyone to be hurt again by the things we, the Kirijo group, created. We'll get this cargo back at all costs. Mission or no mission, I'm making it a personal priority.
Understood.
Aigis answers loudly and snaps off the police salute that she's finally got the hang of. That's adorable. I love it. I am Aigis. My official name is 7th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon. As my name implies, I am not human. I am humanoid weapon, essentially a robot. Though, with the right clothes, a surprising number of people cannot tell the difference. I was created in a research lab owned by one of the world's foremost conglomerates, the Kirijo Group. I was made to exterminate a certain enemy. They are called shadows, monsters born from people's repressed emotions, granted dark life. Shadows can only be defeated by those with special power of personas. One's persona is said to be the power to wield the shadows within them. They are two sides of the same coin, though one cannot have a persona if they do not also have a heart. I was given mind to artificially develop a persona and a body to close to that of a human so that my mind could maintain a personality. A heart designed for battle, a body designed for battle. I did endure some suffering because of my original purpose, but I now have a place where I belong. Somewhere I can make full beneficial use of my powers. That is the security department, Shadow Response Unit. Our nickname is the Shadow Operatives. The Shadow Operatives were formed at Mitsuru's directive. She is the scion of my creators, the Kirijo Group, as well as the one who was given full responsibility for handling the shadows. Our objective is to identify and resolve incidents involving shadows. We do this by eliminating them. All of the members are persona users and have similar qualifications. During operations, our guidelines state that the member with the smallest number has command. The number that I was issued with was 5. Though I am not human, I am treated as a member and not a piece of equipment. Moreover, my number is in the single digits. It's possible that there will be missions like today where I must take command of dangerous operations. In other words, I am recognized as having the same life and dignity as humans. Because Mitsuru-san and the others have such trust in me, I want to repay that trust with results. There is another reason that I am working my hardest on this case. Soon after the hijacking was resolved, the stolen cargo was identified. Its contents surprised me. The 5th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon. The unit named Labris. She is one of my sister units. She was sealed a decade ago and has been in storage with other artifacts ever since. Labris, a humanoid weapon just like me. It is possible that she has a heart. And if she does, I want to save her before she is misused. This is a mission, yes, but more than that, I feel that it is a duty I must carry out. Wow. That's a lot of reading. We only made it past the first one. Oh boy. The next day, May 2nd, 2012. We wanted to pursue the vehicle carrying Labris as soon as the hijacking was over, but its complicated route made it hard to track. Due to the sensitive nature of the cargo, it is difficult to set up a large-scale traffic checkpoints. Fortunately, the license plate number was determined quickly, and we got a rough estimate of its destination. Our headquarters would move to a police facility. Mitsuru-san and our team were Mitsuru-san and our team are sorting out the situation to plan for an operation.
And the interrogation of the suspects?
It's begun, but all of them are claiming that their memories at the time are very foggy, so they've been sent in for evaluation.
Ha, very foggy. Persona 4.
The psychologists who interviewed them think it's possible they're not lying.
So none of the 5 have any memories of what happened during the hijacking.
Normally that would seem preposterous. There may have been some hypnotic effect, but even then...
We're dealing with someone after materials from Ergo research. They'll likely be very well informed about shadows and the mind. Knowing that, it doesn't seem so strange. It would also explain the extreme lengths they went to create a decoy. What else do we know?
Another team member answers Mitsuru-san's question.
Since the cage storing the 5th generation is too large to transport by personal auto, we narrowed our search to large vehicles that left the airport.
Sam Riegel really does have range, doesn't he?
That, combined with the testimony from our observer and data from the transmitter, allowed us to pinpoint the vehicle in question. The police are already pursuing it via the N system. This is the most recent photo.
At least I think that's Sam Riegel. Definitely sounds like him. He hands the tablet to Mitsuru-san.
The Inaba area. Wasn't this the place where...
Yes, our routine investigation last year rated the potential shadow activity in the area at level 4.
It seems that the culprit in this case had prior knowledge of the shadows after all. If that is true, we must use extra caution. Many people do not know about shadows, that they are enough of a threat to possibly destroy the world. Then again, I experienced that for myself 3 years ago. If someone is trying to manipulate them, we must prevent it at all costs.
Let's talk about the stolen 5th generation unit. Aigis, as the 7th generation, would be her younger sister.
A sister.
Alright, I hope Boompine doesn't try to sniff and lick my straw, because, you know, cats do that. Anyways.
My older sister.
I'd like to know why she was sealed.
5th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon, Labris. The records show her to be the first model fitted with an artificial personality.
In other words, she has a heart?
There's no knowing if it was developed enough to call it that. She seems to have been made to gather test data rather than actual field use.
What are her combat capabilities?
She wasn't given firearms, since her regulatory system was inadequate, so she was instead loaded with some kind of special equipment. Unfortunately, the majority of the records pertaining to her are missing, which means that's the extent of our knowledge.
Special equipment.
We also don't know why she was sealed. Many of the documents regarding the old Ergo research were lost, probably to cover up incriminating evidence. We don't even know what she looks like. All we do know is that she was a life-sized android.
We'll just have to find out along the way.
Mitsuru-san wipes her fingers across the tablet a few times and shows it to an aide.
I'll need these 3 individuals' cooperations. I'd like to join them in the field.
Are you sure about this?
Try not to make a scene when fetching them. Not all of them are part of our organization.
The aide nods his assent and returns to his station. Please ignore me. I don't know how to speak English sometimes. Mitsuru-san then turns her gaze on me.
And Aigis, frankly, I think we can assume that there'll be combat involved. Will you be alright with that?
Though Mitsuru-san doesn't say it out loud, I understand what she means. Our highest priority as the operation is to stop the culprit and mitigate any associated danger. Not to rescue Labris. Of course, we will strive to accomplish both, but in the worst case scenario, we must consider the option of destroying Labris. Destroying a sister unit. It'll be a painful experience if she too has a heart.
I thank you for your concern, but I'll be fine. I will do my duty.
Mitsuru-san says nothing more and silently nods.
Well then, once we can confirm our target is headed to Inaba, we'll depart at once.
Yepperoo. May 3rd, 2012. As we get ready to depart for Inaba, Mitsuru-san and I go over last-minute details inside the police station. Mitsuru-san is absorbed with issuing instructions over the cell phone she is holding. Pessimism seeps into my heart as I wait. I begin muttering to myself.
Will we be able to find Labris, my sister?
Mitsuru-san's surprised voice makes me realize how unlike these doubts are. Unlike me, these doubts are.
Will we be able to save her? Isn't that what you really want to ask?
Those of you that have seen my playthrough on Persona 3 Portable, or that have like played any Persona 3 game, Ibutodai Dorm. Awesome. Anyways.
Don't worry. As I mentioned to Akihiko, fighting Labris is not our priority. The reason I formed this shadow operative team is to save lives. We will find her, whatever it takes, and bring her back. We can do this.
How am I supposed to focus on a serious situation when I'm too busy grooving?
Yes. I'm sorry to be so pessimistic.
Those feelings you have for Labris, you should tell her when you see her.
I will.
Friends bound by trust are irreplaceable indeed. I hope that Labris will become one as well. Eventually, the preparations are made, and our limousine departs on its journey to Inaba. That evening, we are in Inaba now and traveling down the midtown street. Though it is called Midtown, it is very different from an urban environment. It is a quiet, rustic road. The vehicle we are targeting is easily discovered. The transmitter that was attached to it when it left from the airport is, lucky for us, still active. But the vehicle has been abandoned, and the cargo is gone as well. To trace it further, we must learn why the culprit came here. Specifically, we need to know the details of what happened last year. Though, that was already assumed, so we have a plan. Mitsuru-san's orders the driver to park nearby. However, this poses an unexpected problem. Our vehicle is long, black, 8-door limousine. It'll stand out if this countryside town, no matter where it's parked.
Mitsuru-san, our activities are supposed to be undercover, correct?
Yes.
For undercover missions, it will be necessary to keep all personnel and vehicles from being noticed.
Right.
Mitsuru-san, may I say something that I've been meaning to say for a while now?
No.
Understood.
Oh my gosh.
All I told them was to give us a car with enough space.
Well, this is definitely enough space, but this is probably a lot. Like, too much. Wherever we go, people peer into the windows out of curiosity. We avoid the public eye as much as possible, and finally park in what looks like a site for vehicle disposal on the outskirts of town.
Our contact has arrived.
I then notice a middle-aged man in a gray suit standing outside of the window. I recognize his face. He is one of the 3 collaborators Mitsuru-san contacted before our departure. I scoot over to the door and open the window.
Oh my! This was not our designated meeting area, yet he has discovered us.
Suddenly, something not unlike exasperation or disappointment appears on his face.
You want to know how I did it?
Oh my god, it's Police Officer Kurosawa. A cop interrupts us.
Appreciate your cooperation, Detective Kurosawa.
God, dude. He's a detective now. Mitsuru-san gets out of the vehicle and slightly bows. 3 years ago, when we were still fighting shadows in secret, Detective Kurosawa worked as a police officer at a nearby police box. He believed that our intentions were good and supplied us with certain conveniences under the table. His job made this risky, but he always acted on behalf of what he believed to be just, He's said this many times while supporting us in secret. He is a strong man, one who always acts on his beliefs. But now our organization has official government sanction. He can now cooperate with us without being considered a descendant. A decedent? I don't know. Anyways, in fact, now that Kurosawa's prior actions are justified, he's been promoted for his expertise. I have heard that he is now a plainclothes detective working at the Central Precinct.
Long time no see, miss. And Aigis, was it?
Indeed. It has been a while.
Kurosawa-san fixes his eyes on Mitsuru-san and me. It is faintly awkward. We are both dressed for combat, and I'm not wearing any clothes to cover my true form.
Oh, sorry for staring. A humanoid weapon. I was skeptical when I heard, but seeing you in person doesn't leave any room for doubt.
I'm sorry that I kept it hidden back then.
It's all right. It would have caused more of a headache if you'd gone around looking like that.
Hearing him say that, I cannot help but smile.
Seeing you laugh like that makes it harder to believe you're a machine.
I shouldn't make you stand while we talk. Please, get in.
Sorry. I haven't seen you in a while, so I had a lot to say.
Mitsuru-san asked Kurosawa-san to collect information on the serial murder case that occurred in this town last year. When background investigations were carried out across Japan at the end of 2011, this region showed high readings of shadow activity. But although it was investigated, there were no effects apart from slightly unnatural weather. Then again, what if something happened that was just too hard to detect? Mitsuru-san suspects that there are serial murder cases related to these shadows and asks Kurosawa-san to take the local police force, share the reports. Goodness. We could have requested them directly, but what we wanted would not be the surface information found in the investigation records. There are limits to what an unofficial unit cloaked by authority can do with a direct request.
I found out quite a bit regarding the case you had me look into. First, I reviewed the report on the incidents from last year. One of the suspects mentioned the word persona.
I locked cases with Mitsuru-san.
So what went on here last year?
It's probably related, but I wasn't done there. Parts of this guy's testimony were even more outlandish. If you can take what's in the record at face value, it seems persona users can enter TVs within the Inaba region.
Enter TVs? What does that mean?
Just what it sounds like. You physically stick your body into the screen and go inside. He claimed there was another world in the TV, and dropping people inside it was the method behind last year's murders.
This all sounds rather absurd. I'm surprised it was included in the police report.
I got in touch with the detective in charge at the time and said the same thing. Apparently the report was filed by a young partner of his at the time. He'd entertained the wildest testimonies like this one.
He sounds like quite the oddball.
If this was what really went on, the police would have had no chance cracking it. But that Detective Dojima is one shrewd guy. Even with all the supernatural hocus-pocus surrounding the case, he caught the culprit.
Kurosawa-san sighs. He seems to be tired.
That's all I have for you right now. I should be going. I doubt either of us has time to reminisce over the old days. It's funny though. I thought the fighting was over, but you guys surprise me every time I see you.
Thank you very much, Officer Kurosawa. Why don't we at least see you off?
Oh, that's all right. I've got my own car. I doubt my department would appreciate your tastes. If I ever showed up for work in something like this, I'd be the talk of the force until the day I retired.
What? Like, in a good way, though? Like, who shows up to work in a limousine? Okay, no, I can actually think of a few people. Anyways, not important. He opens the door and exits the vehicle. He gives a short farewell and leaves without turning back.
Mitsuru-san, this could be bad. Our sense of social aptitude is in question.
Can't deny that.
What should we do now?
Yes. First, we'll need to test the claim that Persona users can enter TVs.
Hearing this makes me realize something. Although I had called it a vehicle disposal site, looking around I can now see that there are also household electronics, like refrigerators, discarded here as well. In a corner is a stack of TVs.
There is a discarded TV over there. If the environment does not matter, we can use it to test the phenomenon.
I voluntarily get out of the vehicle.
Wait, Aigis.
Don't worry. I'm just going to touch it.
I extend my right hand and touch the screen of the biggest TV I can see. My fingers brush against the screen. But although I seem to be touching it, I feel no resistance from its surface. I push my hand forward, a little more. A weak light runs across the screen, and my forearm sinks into it.
Amazing!
Rings of light spread from the contact of my arm, rippling like water across a pond.
Interesting. It's exactly as the police report said. What's it like inside? Do you feel anything?
Not particularly. No. Wait a moment.
My sensory detects a sensation I've never felt before. But the knowledge of what it has already been recorded within me.
It's the same as mine. It's hard to say definitively since this is my first encounter with it, but I believe this reading is from a personality module.
Oh yeah, it's Labris.
Does that mean our retrieval target is inside the TV?
Huh. Sounds like fun.
Ah, well look at you, being all weird and suspicious and hiding in fact and stuff. I hear a voice come from an unexpected direction. Mitsuru-san and I look towards it. What we see is a silhouette wearing a low hood and covers his eyes in a tattered cape. It billows in the wind, looking just like a character in a Western movie. He is standing atop a mountain of trash, his arms crossed.
Is that Akihiko?
He jumps down nimbly and walks towards us.
You didn't show up at the rendezvous point, so I went looking and found you here. This whole TV thing is pretty interesting.
I would never forget the man laughing so fearlessly. Like Mitsuru-san, he is a friend I once fought alongside Akihiko Sanada. I should have paused because there's a period. Anyways, he was a student boxing champion in his school days and a staunch ally, powerful even without his persona. He is also our second collaborator on this case.
It's been a while, Akihiko-san.
Yeah, good seeing you.
Akihiko, what on earth are you wearing? Just what were you doing overseas?
Didn't I tell you that I was on a training expedition?
Don't tell me you came here from the airport like that. Does the concept of keeping a low profile mean nothing to you?
Mitsuru-san, I believe we have lost the right to complain about that.
Mitsuru sighs with annoyance. Oh yes, Akihiko-san was on a training expedition overseas until this morning. As a result, his appearance is very different from the last time I saw him. But his aggressive personality and love for a challenge seem to be the same as always. He gives a cocky smile and smacks his palm with his fist.
Anyway, we can get inside from that TV, right? And what are we waiting for?
Still the same Akihiko. We don't know the situation inside yet, and we'll need a secure means of getting out.
So what? If we want to get this Labris back, someone has to go inside, right?
Well, that's...
Our target hijacked a plane to throw her into a TV in this town. If we sit on our hands, it's possible we'll be put in serious danger.
Akihiko-san steps towards Mitsuru-san, as if pressing her.
We're different from how we used to be. We made the choice to fight shadows as professionals. That's why I traveled around the world and trained harder than ever. And now that something's actually come up, you're hesitating? We agreed to do this. I'm ready to stake my life on the mission.
Akihiko-san's opinion is a bit strong, But he is not incorrect. It could be Akihiko-san's It could be Akihiko-san understands that being slightly forceful is his role. Because Mitsuru-san takes caution seriously. As the ultimate authority in this case, she frequently second-guesses herself. But I have seen Akihiko-san's words cut through her hesitation in the past. It shows his trust in Mitsuru-san not to make decisions in error.
All right. Wait right here. I need to go make a phone call first.
Okay, but make it quick.
The other members will wait here in the car.
Yeah. If we all barge in and something happens, they'll be devastated.
Now that you mention it, at least one of us should be staying behind as well.
I am not staying.
Us three will be plenty. We'll end this in a flash. No problem.
The same as always. Although, we have no idea what might be waiting for us on the other side. Don't get careless.
Right.
This situation, it brings back memories.
Ready!
That's good to see that.
Why enter the TV?
Naoto?
What's going on?
What are you doing? Huh? Why is she there of all places anyway? I am surrounded by white light that stands most of my sensors to their limits. A portion of my sensors indicate that I am currently in a state similar to freefall. I can't tell up and down from left and right. This continues for a while. Eventually, my functions slowly recover. I find myself inside an unknown room, sitting on the ground. I quickly stand up and check my surroundings.
Is this the music room of a school?
I can see a music stand, a grand piano, a blackboard, and portraits. There is an air of exaggerated theatrics to it, but I may not be far from the truth. Is this the world inside the TV? After the surreality entering a TV screen, this comes as quite a surprise.
No sign of Mitsuru-san or Akihiko-san. Did they land elsewhere? So much noise. I can't contact anyone like this.
I attempt to use my communicator, but there is no response. This looks like in an ordinary classroom, but it has an alarming amount of radio interference. When I concentrate my senses again, I detect a bizarre disturbance from the entire area that is unlike normal buildings. That may be another world after all. In any case, I must join up with Mitsuru-san and Akihiko-san. But just as I begin to make plans to do so, the monitor hanging from the ceiling switches on. What appears on it? How to describe it? A bizarre figure that looks like a living costume.
I spy an unknown yet bewitching babe. How unexpected!
Oh no, he's glitching. Its comical tone does not last long before the voice distorted and the image disappears. It reminded me of a malfunctioning machine. I stare at the monitor. I have a hunch that it will return soon. Just as I thought, the costume reappears. But its behavior is very different now.
Case 04, unintended intruder. Entering elimination process.
Its mechanical sounding voice is completely different from the joking tone it had before. In that phrase, elimination process, it seems that a battle will be starting. I release the safety nets from the weapons built into my body. Safeties. That's when a large noise comes from behind me. A young man in school uniform comes rolling in with a yell. Kanji.
A human?
No! Jeez, decided to open right then. This makes no damn sense.
I thought that I was ready for any eventuality, but I had not expected to suddenly encounter a human.
Are you all right? You seem to be unharmed.
The young man looks back at me with a steely gaze while fixing his bleached hair with his fingers. His behavior does not seem to be that of one who came in pursuit of me.
What? Never seen you before.
I'm sorry, I haven't introduced myself. My name is Aigis.
Only then do I remember that my appearance would seem very peculiar to a usual observer.
I'm a transfer student. I have blue eyes, blonde hair, Gatling cannon.
Huh?
I'm sorry, forget what I said. In the past, that prepared explanation for students has been effective, but no longer.
Okay. Anyways, I'm Kanji Tatsumi. This mean you're my next opponent?
Opponent? What do you mean?
What do I mean? I'm talking about a scrap!
You mean a fight? But we have only met Tatsumi-san. Actually, where are we?
Enough blabbering, you machine!
With a yell, he slams the folding chair in his hand on the ground. A cold, dull, metallic sound echoes and eliminates any possibility for talking this over.
It's a fake girl like you calling me by my name!
Okay, that's rude. She is a real girl. I go quiet. Oh, Aigis. A fake girl. I understand how I might elect such a reaction, but there is pain in my chest. Though I cannot help but smile at how instinctively I reacted that way. It seems I have become more human-like than I knew.
I was worried I might have to go up against my senpai, but I ain't gonna hold back against a robot like you.
Thinking with a calm mind, I noticed a small incongruity with his attitude. When he first saw me, he seemed unsure and claimed that he had not seen me before. Yet, though he knows now that I am a machine, he doesn't seem particularly surprised. Aren't those two things contradictory? I focus my senses once more and enhance the gain on my sensors. I detect a faint interference. Because it had appeared uniformly across all my sensors, I had been aware of it. What is this?
You're not gonna do anything. I'll make the first move. Take Mikazuchi!
A persona?
Light flickers intermediately. Could that be electricity? A thick barrel-like arm charged with voltage appears from above. I jump back, narrowly escape a crushing blow.
Nice dodge. Looks like you got at least a little bit of fight in you.
A persona user. I was careless. I should have expected that possibility since I encountered him inside the TV. I do not know the procedure for attacking a human, but if he's a persona user, I must defend myself with the usual armaments.
There is no avoiding this fight. I cannot fall here.
Alright, time to show my Aigis gameplay off. After an hour and 14 minutes. Jeez. Okay.
Finally!
Move down! Dash! Dash! Please hit! I summon you! Destroy it! Athena!
Nothing.
Please hit! Going!
Nothing.
I failed.
Nothing.
Persona! I summon you! Here, Athena! Scramble! Going! Strike! Move down! Fire!
You're under arrest, though.
Persona! Persona! My other self! Down!
You ain't bad.
Go! Everything decided?
Nothing.
Fire! Fire! Going! Fire!
Okay, I admit I don't really know how to play Aigis that much.
Surprise!
She is very weird to play. Not in like a really bad way, but like, I don't know, just weird because she doesn't function like everyone.
Are you alright, Tatsumi-san?
But I guess that makes sense. I helped Tatsumi-san off the ground and called to him. After repeating myself several times, I hear a groan.
No! Damn it! Ow! Oh, whoa! Hands off!
I'm sorry. If you can't stand, then I'll carry you.
I pick up Tatsumi-san, who is lying down with both arms.
Whoa! Damn! You're a hell of a lot stronger than you look. Whoa, 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 whoa! How come you're carrying me like this? Like a bride or something?
That's adorable.
This is the spousal method of carrying.
Oh.
No, it ain't. It's the bridal. Oh, wait a sec. Are they pretty much the same thing?
Tatsumi-san, you seem completely fine.
That's what I've been saying. And stop with the Tatsumi-san crap. It's making my skin crawl. Just call me Kanji.
You don't object to being called that? I'm an artificial person, after all.
Huh? Who cares? If I say it's fine, then it's fine. And will you put me down already?
When I put Kanji-san down as requested, he turns his back and repeatedly scratches his head. I feel as if his demeanor has changed compared to how he was before the fight. His loud voice and rough words are the same, but the sense that he will not listen to a word I say is gone. I feel like I can make myself understood now.
Well then, Kanji-san, allow me to ask again. Where are we? And what did you mean by opponent?
Huh? You're not an enemy that Ted set up for me?
Ted? Are you referring to the bear who appeared on the monitor?
This is a fighting tournament. Only the winners get to keep going. I lost this time. But oh well. I wouldn't make it in the big leagues.
That sounds like something Akihiko-san would say.
Huh?
Sorry, I was just talking to myself.
Gotta say, you pack one hell of a punch. Got me real good.
Punch? But I didn't throw any punches.
Listen though, the rest of this tournament ain't gonna be so easy. My senpai are waiting up ahead.
There are more people here. Could you estimate how many?
Kanji-san smiles dauntlessly and gives me a thumbs up. I don't really understand why, but I give him a thumbs up as well. Good job. Then Kanji heels over. Oh god. I rush in to catch him. When I look into his face, he is still smirking, but he's passed out. It seems he is fighting through his fatigue for the sake of his pride. He doesn't seem injured, so I carefully set him back down on the floor. Suddenly, that costume, Kanji-san called it, Ted appears again on the monitor.
Intruders are persona users. Due to difficulties in elimination, they will be acknowledged as valid targets.
It's using that mechanical tone of voice again. The intruders must be me and the others. Since it won't be easy to eliminate, it appears that he's changing tactics. But what would he mean by valid targets? The monitor screen turns off once again. Just like before, it flickers back on after a few seconds. It's the same face as before, but a completely different attitude.
Woohoo! What a fox! Keen to join in on our fun? I'm A-okay with that if you're up for a little fighting. I'll wait for you in the next arena up ahead.
This is more how he sounded at the beginning. He's gone back to normal, or at least recovered from the abnormality.
Oh, silly me. If you're cutting in, you don't know who I am. I am General Teddy. Remember that name well.
General Teddy. Apparently he really is a teddy bear. He doesn't seem like one. But a number of things he said caught my attention. Joining in our fun and arena. These are the line with the tournament Kanji-san mentioned. Is this tournament being held here? But the monitor is silent once again and does not return. I do not think I will make any progress if I remain here. I poke my head through the door where Kanji-san appeared to check up my surroundings. What looks like a school hallway leads straight ahead. There appears to be no danger nearby. I manage to hoist Kanji-san's body over my shoulder and try to leave the room.
What?
Something gets stuck and prevents me from proceeding. I stop and check, but I cannot see any obstructions. Both of the sliding doors fell off when Kanji-san came in and the way is completely open. It should be wide enough for me to pass through easily, even with a person over my shoulder. Yet I cannot proceed. Something is getting stuck. I show my walking speed and check up to see what part of me is getting caught. That is how I discovered something surprising. Nothing is blocking the way, yet only Kanji-san's body can pass through the door. It seems that there is an invisible wall, one that is selective and prevents only Kanji-san's passage between the room and the hallway. Something Kanji-san said comes back to me. Only the winner get to keep going. Is that what he meant? I increase the sensitivity of my various sensors, but I cannot detect any wall here. I have no way of destroying what I cannot touch. Which means I have no choice but to leave Kanji-san here.
Oh well. I will come back for you later. Please stay safe until then.
Oh, Aigis, you're so sweet. Once he comes around, he's still Persona user. It's not as if I'm leaving someone behind who can't fend for himself. I reluctantly convince myself to move on. While moving down the hallway, my sensors continue to pick up disturbances from everything in the school. It all looks so normal, though. This is a line of glass windows on the wall. Outside is a field level on the ground I am walking on. I seem to be on the first floor in the building. Eventually, I reach a doorway and continuously venture outside. This is barely any different from the temperature or atmospheric composition compared to the real world. The lack of wind is unnatural, and there are no discrepancies between here and there. I turn around and inspect the building's exterior. This is indeed a school. I walk along the wall and go around the building. Soon, I reach what seems to be a main gate. I turn towards the school building once again and come to a realization.
I recognize this place.
I have seen a photo from the angle and the preparation materials. As I recall, this is the high school in Inaba. To make sure, I step past the school gate and check the nameplate. The name engraved on the gate's pillar is Yasugami High School. I cross-reference the name with the map of the area and find a match. This is confusing. A real-world location is completely recreated inside a TV? Why is it structured like nesting boxes? Just then, I sense something move in the corner of my vision. I quickly turn to view it head-on. It is a uniformed girl. She is running straight through, in the opposite direction of the field. Is she a student? No, this is not a real school. Could she be one of the senpai Kanji spoke of? But a moment's thought highlights an important detail. Her pale skin and hair color. There can be no mistake. It's the girl I saw from the moment at the airport after a hijacking. I immediately chase after her, but the girl is much faster than I anticipated, and I cannot close the distance. I release the portion of my foot speed limiters and finally get close, until I am able to grasp her right arm from behind.
Huh?
The girl stops and turns around. There is surprise on her face, and she stares wide-eyed in wonder at my form. Though I am surprised myself. The instant I take her hand, a flash of intuition charges through me like electricity. This girl is Lapras. I am unaccountably convinced.
Who are you? That's one funny-looking costume you've got on.
Oh, well,
Oh, of course. You're mixed up in this racket too, aren't you?
Racket? Does she mean the tournament?
No, I am not in this tournament of my own free will.
Really? Then you mind letting me go? I'm the student council president. I can't be letting people run wild at this school.
Student council president?
Didn't I tell you to let me go? Are you trying to get in the way of my work here?
The girl looks at me with an irritated expression. How strange. She speaks as if she really is leading an ordinary life here at school. If she was aware that she was inside the TV world, she should say things. Would she say such things to me?
If you happen to know, could you please tell me what sort of place this is?
Huh? It's the first floor of the classroom building. Can't you tell?
Huh? Is it possible that you don't recall entering a TV?
A TV? Listen, I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm kind of in a hurry here. Can I go now?
Before you do, please tell me something. Who are you?
Who? What'd you stop me for if you didn't even know? I just told you. I'm the student council president. What hole have you been hiding in? The elections were just last week. Are we done now? Because I got places to be.
The girl ends the conversation sternly, shakes off my hand, and runs away again. In an instant, she has disappeared into the school building.
Please, wait!
I go after her, but just as I enter the hallway and round the first bend, something blocks my path. But I can't see what it was at all. I can't see it, yet when I reach out my hand, I can feel it. I think I know what this is.
That wall again!
The invisible wall that prevented Kanji-san's passage. It's most likely the same thing. Once again, I am surprised. I can touch it, yet my sensors detect nothing. And it's much stronger than I had imagined. It repels even gunfire. Physical strikes are nothing. I attempted various methods to destroy it, but before I can, the girl disappears from view.
It seems I am forced to try a different route.
I considered the situation once more. Was that girl truly Lapras? There are too many factors now indicating otherwise. Her appearance and the feel of her arm when I grasped it for a moment ago. Both are strong signs that she is a human. If she is entirely artificial, then she could not be a part of any older generation of models than myself. Her speaking voice and behavior were both also indicative of known human patterns. According to the records of Lapras' development, she was sealed away soon after. Even I stumble with natural human speech. She could not have become that efficient in such a short time. She's not a machine, but a human, so she cannot be Lapras. Usually I would not hesitate to make such a judgment based on the available data. Yet I still can't shake the feeling that she may be Lapras. That intuition I felt earlier, what caused it? The case remains murky. I feel as if my senses are being muffled by a thin cloth. But I cannot leave her be. Even if she's not Lapras, that fact itself means she's in danger. I quickly look for an alternative route. Alright everyone, I'm gonna end this video here because it's getting really long and my voice is starting to hurt. So, yeah. Okay, everyone. I hope that you all enjoyed this video. And as always, don't forget to stay hydrated, everyone. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing, leaving a comment down below. And I guess with that being said, everyone, I will see you all again sometime soon. Goodbye for now. Boo.